Tonight's episode of the 31st Lap Podcast is brought to you by DirtTrackDigest.com. If it's on dirt, it's on Dirt Track Digest.
This is the 31st Lap Podcast, recorded live in the studios of FingerLakes1.com in downtown Seneca Falls, New York. And now, your host, Chris Marquardt.
Well, that was a little bit of a rocky start, wasn't it there? Okay, now we're back on our feet a little bit. Man, this thing's been a little hiccupy tonight, making me nervous as heck as we welcome Zach Thigpen to the show. We're going to be getting in touch with him here in just a little bit to talk about Pole Position Raceway and some of the promotions that they've got coming up here to celebrate Leap Day on Monday, the 29th of February. Episode number 190 for the 31st lap here on deck. Racing concluding down in Volusia Speedway Park. Congratulations to Matt Shepard coming away with the Tour Championship there. Came home with a third place finish on the finale behind Brett Hearn, who won yet another unbelievable feature down there at Volusia Speedway Park as part of the Dirt Car Nationals. Remarkable run for him coming from deep in the pack, 21st, I believe, to claw his way up to come up with a win. Matt Shepard dicing back and forth with Stu Friesen before finally settling for third and taking the championship. Final point standings over Stu Friesen in that final rundown. Good run for him. Other winners down there at Volusia Speedway Park during that event. Rick Lawback coming in with a win on the second night of activity. Shepard winning, that was the third one. Shepard won on the second night of action. He took the win away from Lawback on night number two. Tim Fuller giving DC Rauscher a win finally down there in Florida. Good win for Tim Fuller, already hitting pace out there. A couple news items that we're going to get to. We're going to be talking a little bit about some driver changes that are coming up, some schedule changes that are coming up, some activities for some of the local tracks here. But first and foremost, the big thing that's coming up on Monday is February the 29th. The Leap Year babies finally get to have their birthday, and Pole Position Raceway has a huge birthday gift waiting for them. Zach Thigpen, you're joining us here now. Zach, I'm going to bring you in now to talk a little bit about the promotion that's going on with Pole Position Raceway. We've got locations here locally for us in Buffalo, Rochester, and Syracuse. Anybody can get out there and check it out. You've got some cool things going on down there in Jersey yourself. Tell us a little bit about what this promotion's all about.
Hi, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, no problem.
Okay, yeah. So I'm the director of marketing for Pole Position Raceway, and on behalf of all the Leap Day babies, we wanted to offer a free race. All you need to do is stop into one of our 5 facilities: Syracuse, Buffalo, Rochester, Jersey City, and Long Island. And all you need to do is show proof of an ID, and you get a free race. We really like to honor people's birthdays, and if you're a member, you get a free race during your birthday month. But for this promotion, just to help out the Leaplings who don't always get to celebrate their birthday just once out of every 4 years, we wanted to give them a little something special. So anybody, member or not, can stop in and get a free race.
I think that's an awesome thing. And it's a promotion that you only get to run every 4 years. You get to dust the thing off and use it one more time. How's the response typically been for your members that have birthdays that fall on the 29th?
The members, well, they can use the nice thing about the member birthday race is that you can use it throughout the entire month of your birthday.
Oh, okay.
So
Perfect.
The February babies have a little, they have a couple less days during the month to use it, but definitely we see them come in, and they happen to come in a lot of times with friends and family who once they get a taste of the racing often become members themselves.
We just came off of that awesome multi-facility racing championship program that was taking place. We talked a little bit about that on previous episodes of the 31st lap. Again, the momentum continuing to grow for the off season and some of those activities as we saw that developing through December and January. Now we're starting to turn our attention more towards the actual racing season and outside. Do we see any of the facilities getting more and more activity as more and more of our fans and even possibly some of the drivers themselves get the itch to race?
Well, Chris, I'm glad you brought up Pole Position Raceway Live. So it was such a success in the fall and the winter that we're actually doing it again starting on March 15th.
Perfect.
So this is going to be something that we're doing to close out the racing season and kind of to launch the racing season as well.
Right.
This time around, it's still it's actually 5 weeks instead of 8 weeks this time. It's still Syracuse, Buffalo, Rochester. We're going to have a podcast ourselves, the Live Racing Series podcast, and it's going to be streaming online on Finger Lakes News Radio. There's also great opportunities for prizes for the competitors, spectators, and listeners to the radio show and podcast. This time around, we actually changed it up a little bit, and we're adding a second main event each hour so that if you don't qualify for the main event, you can still accrue some points and be eligible to be one of those top 9 racers racing for the cash prizes that 5th week. And we definitely have felt that people are starting to get that itch for racing, and it's starting to get that time of year. And, with the warm weather comes, heating up the track, and we've definitely noticed people coming out and preparing for live even. We've had some guys from Buffalo and from Rochester come to Syracuse where the championship is being held to test out the track so that they're ready to go in case they become one of our top 3 racers. And anybody is welcome to join as long as you're an adult racer and have raced before with us with a minimum lap time, pretty much just proving that you're a somewhat skilled racer, and then just join us. It's a lot of fun. It's highly competitive. There's a lot of prizes, and everybody seems to be doing really well with it.
Well, it was the whole thing came right down nip and tuck between all of the drivers that were in competition between the 3 tracks. I remember last year we talked to a couple drivers who were making it a point to go to the other tracks to do a little bit of testing to find the fast line and what the best way around those tracks were. And I tell you, I can't believe the turnout, the number of people that got behind that, and everybody was so close together. It was really, really even. So you had to really focus on keeping your momentum up and keeping those lap times down as quick as possible, or you were going to be in trouble.
Absolutely, especially with the championship. We add in, it's an endurance race, so there's pitting involved in some of the guys that never pitted before.
Right.
And that was something that they had to get adjusted to. Took a little bit. But all of them did really well. We were really proud of them. And like you said, finding that line is incredibly important because it comes down to hundredths of seconds when you're talking about these incredibly skilled racers that we have. Pole Position Raceway, it's not a joke. We're a fast, highly competitive, exhilarating, authentic racing experience. And there is a lot you can learn from watching and racing and just getting out there on the track.
I like the news that's broke about the Long Island and the Jersey City tracks creating the Super G, which is equivalent to about a half mile of track.
Yeah, the Super G is fantastic. That's definitely a really, really popular thing we have down here. So in Jersey City and Long Island, our facilities are 2-track facilities. Mm-hmm. They're a bit bigger, and they're in warehouse spaces, whereas our facilities in Syracuse, Buffalo, and Rochester are 1-track, and they're in malls. But definitely got to say, Super G for Long Island and Jersey City really brings out the best in people. When you combine the 2 tracks and you have a half-mile long indoor track, you can really build up some speed and really start to see some crazy turns in there, and some people get some really impressive lines and some really impressive lap times as well.
The other neat thing about this, especially with the live competition that we had here that just wrapped up and ran through the fall, and now the next one getting ready to take off again in March, is conceivably you've got people that have never seen the track before that are out there that are very skilled, but they haven't seen the track, so they go through the same learning curve as any driver going to a track for the first time. But also the tracks the karts themselves are set up to be pretty evenly matched, so you might not necessarily have the same kart every time out. So you got to also adapt to what you're working with there. But the parity that was shown across all of the tracks that we've got quick access to here from Buffalo, Syracuse, Rochester, and then the downstate tracks and the Jersey City track, you're looking at a fast piece no matter what you get into. These things are billed as the fastest karts on the East Coast, and they live up to that.
Well, absolutely, Chris. And, we treat our karts like our babies, because they are. And we have mechanics on site at all times when we're open. We do weekly repairs on them, and we blow them out to make sure that there's no debris or anything like that in any of them. So they're in tip-top condition. And again, the track is also treated as such, and it's bead blasted, so you can get a little groove. So think of it like a golf ball. You want dimples instead of it being flat. The track is treated the same way because you get a little extra grip, you get a little extra speed in there as well, and you can make some tighter turns. And we just changed our Syracuse track last month, so people are going to be definitely having to practice to find their best time and find the best line on there. So it's really an even match for almost everybody.
How frequently do the courses get changed up? I mean, you got to figure that eventually people in competition situations anyway, you want to keep it fresh for everybody and reduce their competitive edge since they've got so many laps on a particular format or layout. So you got to change it up. How frequently do those layouts change?
Sure. We change our tracks about every 6 months. Mm-hmm. That gives people, time to get acclimated to the new track and really become an expert at it. And then, we switch it up and they're fresh newbies again.
Well, I mean, that's one of the things. You want to keep it equalized. I never even gave thought to the fact that you would have to dimple the course so that you get more grip and things like that. Usually you go to some of these recreational go-kart places and the track's either just dilapidated and falling apart with dandelions growing up between cracks in the concrete, or it's just a straight-up slick track and you're running on slick tires, so you just slide all over the place. You can't generate any speed. You guys are going with the intention of giving somebody a real racing experience.
Yeah, so the tracks are definitely, they're treated incredibly well, and they're treated, it's really important. Every little split second counts, and everything you can do to give yourself the edge counts. And again, like I said, we're an authentic, exhilarating racing brand. And, with how nice the karts are and how nice the track is, we want to make sure that we optimize every capability that we have to give our racers the best experience possible.
In terms of some of the other promotions that are going on that you guys have had success with, where did that live event fall? I mean, was that one of them that was the most well received in terms of this area? It seemed like
Absolutely.
There was always somebody talking about it.
I think live is really a unique thing that we've put together, and we've really become a part of the racing community along with the other opportunities for racing and spectating in the region, and live proved as such. We really put together a great event, and it got really competitive and really, really fun and really fast. And so, this has definitely been a huge success, seeing how great these racers have gotten, and just watching them compete with each other across tracks and within the tracks too.
You talked about how you're happy with some of the partnerships and stuff that you've built. I mean, you've got some pretty deep ties within the racing community in the Greater Finger Lakes area right now with Watkins Glen, Canandaigua, Brewerton. You mentioned Lancaster, Ransomville, Fulton. You've got a pretty good foothold across the at least the thruway region, so to say, and you're pretty prominent every place you go. Big part of the Super Dirt Car Series as well that just wrapped up down their Florida tour here at the end of last week, and they're getting ready to launch any day now here coming up in 4 or 5 weeks right here in the Northeast.
Right. Well, we are part of the racing community, and we love how much the thruway region takes their racing seriously. And not just on the national NASCAR level, the local dirt tracks have been an amazing partnership. And along with Watkins Glen, who we've worked with for years and years now, and is so close, and they're so great to work with, and such a unique, amazing track. We've also been working with those tracks that you mentioned and Dirt Car Northeast. Mm-hmm. We've been working with them on their Media Day announcement, which is the kickoff to Super Dirt Week every year. Plus, we're a part of every single race that they have, whether it be in our region or not. We want to be a part of the community, of the racing community, and I think that we've proven how seriously we take our racing and how seriously we take our partnerships. And we really have proven to the region, I believe, that we are no joke. We're a real racing experience, and we are a lot of fun, but we're also very serious.
How often do you actually get the chance to get in one of the karts?
Well, not as much as I'd like. I'd like to get out there every day. We're really busy with all the marketing and promotions that we do, which I head up. But I try to get in the kart once a month, once every other month or so, just to loosen up, turn my wheels. Although, I don't stand a chance against some of our staff who've really gotten good. Racing is, I live in New York. I live in New York City, so I'm not really a driver these days. So I probably lost my touch a little bit.
Racing wasn't something you'd come up around, though. I would guess if being in that New York City area, there's not a huge populace of racetracks to go to if it's not something that you've been brought up within.
Right. Yeah. Well, originally I'm from California. I'm from the Bay Area. So we have the NASCAR track over there, which I've gone to once, which was a lot of fun. But yeah, it really wasn't something that I did much growing up. But I've really grown to love it, and I spend a lot of time in our 3 upstate locations on the thruway during the summer, visiting our tracks, going to see the races. Last year, Canandaigua, I was lucky enough to be able to drop the flag for one of the modified races, which was a lot of fun. I was nervous about actually dropping the flag. You're right over the cars. You're right over the cars there, but luckily I held on for dear life and did a decent job, I think, of waving the flag around there.
So you've had the chance to take in with different engagements. You've seen NASCAR in California. You got a pole position Raceway location in California, right? Is it in Corona?
Yeah, well, we're a franchise model, so our 5 locations are the ones I mentioned on the East Coast. But yeah, we're scattered all across the country. A couple in California, a couple in Vegas, Texas, St. Louis, all over the map.
Gotcha. So you've been able to see NASCAR at the big track in California. You've seen NASCAR at the Glen. You've been to a couple of the tracks up here, both asphalt and dirt surface. Is there one particular division that you've really started to say, like, this is something I can relate to, I enjoy it?
I mean, just the dirt racing in general, there's just nothing like it. You really start to feel the motors and the excitement, and just watching them whip their turns around over there on the dirt and just seeing the dirt flying. It's very exciting. It's very exciting. I totally have caught the bug. And when I was up for, I didn't get to make Super Dirt Week last year, but the year before I was up there, and I loved it. I had such a great time. It was so much fun. The fans were incredible. The drivers were great, and I really just loved it.
New home for Super Dirt Week planned this year, moving over to Central New York Raceway Park. As we know, the grandstands and most of the track now gone, eliminated, and taken off of that historic Syracuse skyline. If you came down 690 heading towards Syracuse Fairgrounds for a long ride of that, you can see the grandstand standing there on the horizon, and those now gone, detonated, gone away, and never to be seen again. So Super Dirt Week picking up a new home for the 2016 season. Excited to see that transition take place. It's going to be one you want to be at. Zach, you're going to try and make the drive up for the first ever Super Dirt Week at the new facility?
How could I not? I'm very fortunate that I get to be a part of it and just get to be there in general. It's going to be incredible. I really think that it just keeps growing and growing and growing and getting more acclaim, and I can't wait. I think it's going to be an incredible event.
How did you get involved with Pole Position Raceway as a whole now? You're talking about moving from California to New York City, the marketing background part of it. I'm sure that played a role in it. How do you find yourself in the position that you're at with Pole Position?
Yeah, well, I was in New York City before coming to work for Pole Position Raceway, and really it was just, a very serendipitous time for myself as well as the owners, where I, got in touch with them, found them, and they found me, and we had just opened our second location in Syracuse. We were looking to build the marketing department and looking for someone that was young, fresh out of college, has a marketing background, and has an entrepreneurial background as well. So that's really where I came into the fold, and I've been lucky enough to grow with the company as we have moved from one location to now 5 locations. And just learning the different markets, learning the business, and just learning the industry has been an absolutely astounding experience and a great time for me. And I wouldn't want anything else, and it's been incredible.
So again, we're talking with Zach Thigpen with Pole Position Raceway, focusing a little bit on this leap year promotion, offering the Leaplings, I believe is what you guys have been calling them, the Leaplings, the folks that have their birthday on February the 29th, the opportunity to get a free race in, finally getting their shot with the Pole Position Raceway locations, the main 5 here in New York and in New Jersey. What's a night at Pole Position usually consist of in terms of what a fan could expect to experience if they've never been there before?
Well, we're open 7 days a week to the public. So, we're always running races. We have 3 different race classes. We have adults, and that's over 58 inches tall with a driver's license. Youth, between 48 and 58 inches without a driver's license, over 58 inches without a driver's license, and then juniors who are between 48 and 58 inches. So, you walk in, you sign up, you go to your class, and then you're placed in a race. And depending on how busy it is, you could be racing by yourself. You could be racing with a full race of 10 people. So it's totally different depending on when you come. We also do a lot of leagues and special events and things of that nature, like Pole Position Raceway Live that I mentioned. And we're just always doing new, unique things. We also have a lot of birthday parties and personal celebrations, as well as corporate events. We're an amazing corporate event venue, with catering options and, party spaces, private party spaces, and we have a high-end video arcade. So we're always busy. People are always coming to hang out. We have a really fun environment and a great group of people that work with us and that are our staff members. And there's just nothing like it. It really, your heart starts pumping the second you can hear the karts going.
You talked about the corporate events. How do those go over? That's got to be something.
Yeah, the corporate events are so much fun. Yeah, we do parties for any size group from 8 to hundreds of people. Really depends on the size of the group and how much racing you want to do, but it can get competitive. We do team building events, and some of them can be formatted in a way where the winner can take home some prizes. So you qualify, and then the top qualifiers are placed in a main event. And then, we've had some sales teams that can get really competitive out there. So it's definitely a lot of fun, and, we have great catering partners as well. So there's plenty of food options and things of that nature. And it really just is a great fun corporate event. We like to say we're the new bowling when it comes to corporate events. We definitely have changed the game a little bit, as opposed to your standard restaurant or bowling or whatever you've done in the past. We are a unique venue and a lot of fun, and we almost never we get repeats from almost everybody that starts to race with us. So, we have companies that in Jersey City, we've been open 5 years, that come every year, sometimes twice a year.
That's remarkable. Now, the Jersey City and Long Island location, they're both 2-track facilities, correct?
Correct.
So you could conceivably have 2 corporate parties at the same time?
Yeah, sometimes we've done that before in the past. Oftentimes we'll try to stagger them so that we can, because if we do that, then oftentimes we'll have to close to the public, and we always want to be open to the public. So yeah, we've definitely had multiple parties running simultaneously, and on the weekends we're definitely running birthday parties all day long. So things overlap. We work it out. Everybody's always happy when they have a smile on their face when they leave the door, though.
Now you got to stay with me for this. So you could conceivably have 2 corporate parties at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you could have Bicknell
and the food and all that sort of stuff.
So you could have Bicknell Racing Products have their corporate party on this track, and T.O. Procar have their corporate party at this set of tracks, and then take the top 5 or top 6 from each one and have a combined race at some point with the top runners from this party and the top runners from that party against each other and really make it competitive.
Chris, that's a great idea. I would love to run an event like that. I could see that getting really competitive too.
That would be very competitive. That would be, bring in somehow get the local Goodyear distributor come in against the local American Racer distributor.
Yeah. That sounds like a lot of fun. I definitely would love to see that.
It sounds like it could get expensive. They could start breaking carts real fast.
Well, really, every single event that we do is customized to your needs, your group size, your budget, how much racing you want to do, how experienced people are. So, we really make it work for everybody. Every event has an event specialist that helps them plan out the party and the schedule and the timing and the food and everything like that. So it really is what you want to make it, and we'll guide you along the way.
I just meant for your techs, the guys that are on site repairing the carts.
Oh, well, people are really good racers. Once people get really good really fast. There's a steep learning curve, but then if you can plateau. There's definitely different levels that people can get to. But yeah, there's definitely events when some of our mechanics have a watchful eye about what's going on out there.
I can only imagine. Online, you can find out more information about Pole Position Raceway, www.polepositionraceway.com, 201-333-RACE. That's 201-333-7223. And, of course, social media has got a page for each one of the Fine Bit main locations that we're concerned about here in the Northeast, Rochester, Syracuse, Buffalo, Jersey City, and Long Island. They've also got Twitter and Instagram accounts. So you can jump online, find out more about that. And this is for any member. We're talking about February, but the thing is, if you're a member of Pole Position, you do get one free race in your birthday month. My birthday is in April, so I could run at one point through the course of the month of April. When do you get your free race, Zach? Do you get it? What's your birthday month?
I'm in December, so I got a bunch of months to wait now. I used mine up. Yeah,
but you could have jumped in on that racing action. Would have been a free run for you. You could have been in competition with the points chase. It could have worked out great.
I definitely got out there in December. I definitely did a little pre-holiday race.
That's excellent. What did we miss? We hit on the upcoming live events. I'm excited about that. I want to have somebody back on again here when we get closer or get in the middle of that 5-week live competition like what we had back in the fall and in winter months, starting again in March. Again, it's going to be the same 3 locations, Rochester, Syracuse, and Buffalo. We talked about the free races for the Leaplings. These are electric go-karts, and they are the fastest on the East Coast. You want to get out and check this thing out. What else did we want to hit on here?
Hey, for those who haven't raced with us before, I would just recommend coming and checking us out. We really are unique. We're unlike anything that you've ever done racing-wise, especially when you hear go-karts. You don't really know what to expect until you come and see us, because it really is a unique experience. And again, I put together a really compelling marketing plan for our members. And so if you're a member, and it makes absolute sense to be a member if you're going to race more than once. Again, you get the free race the day you register and a free race during your birthday month. I also put together monthly member rewards that are available to our members all month long, and there's a new one every single month. So this month in February, there's package deals that people can purchase, 10 and 20 race packages for really discounted racing. Next month we'll do something else. So there's always cool stuff going on, always unique events, it's always a lot of fun. So definitely come check us out.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. I know our locations up here aren't exactly given the opportunity to do this, given our climate and the fact that we have gray skies, at least in the Rochester area, from October until like May. But there's some pole position raceways that look like they're in some pretty nice climates. Are any of the tracks actually outdoors?
No, none of them are outdoors. Again, as I was talking about with our karts, how good of care we take of our karts and our track. Being indoor, you're able to control the environment more.
Sure.
And again, when it comes down to hundreds of seconds, you really want to control everything that you can, so that it's really the driver's ability and not anything that could be on the track or the kart. So the indoor really gives us the opportunity to manage everything else in order for people to really experience the racing on their own and really show their mettle.
I like it. keeping it controlled, keeping it even. That's one of the biggest things in racing is when you get parity among the equipment, it gives everybody a chance to be right up there in the mix of it, and it comes down to just a matter of small ticks on the stopwatch. Zach, been a fun conversation tonight. Is there any final thoughts you wanted to share with us?
No, Chris, but thank you for having us on, and you're awesome. Definitely come out for Pole Position Raceway Live or just in general, and I hope to see you when I'm up there.
I'm looking forward to it. I want to keep in touch too. If we gotta trade a couple emails here once we get done with the show. I'll go through Amanda to get that stuff set up, but definitely want to keep in touch as some of these other promotions come up. That thing in March, the another live event with the competition, really putting the state against itself. I'm excited about that. Again, online, you can jump on there, polepositionraceway.com. The phone number, again, is 201-333-RACE. That's 201-333-7223. Social media pages for each of those locations in New York, New Jersey, Jersey City, Buffalo, Syracuse, Rochester, and Long Island. Twitter, Instagram also staying pretty active. Maybe you can see one of your faces up there on one of those shared posts. Zach, I appreciate it a ton. We look forward to keeping things going with the 31st lap and pole position as we move forward, and hopefully a lot of February birthday IDs get turned in.
Absolutely. Hey, Chris, thank you so much for having me on. Really appreciate it, and you do great work there.
Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you again soon.
Talk to you.
We'll see you later.
Bye.
There goes Zach Thigpen from Pole Position Raceway. A little bit of a rocky start tonight, but everything has stabilized here. Been busy checking a million different screens, making sure that everything is staying up on its feet. Hopefully Zach wasn't too turned off by it. Seemed like he had a good time. Gave about a half hour. Make sure you get over there and check that thing out. Tell me you heard about it on the 31st lap. I like it. I mean, I'm excited about it. We're trying to convince John and Mike to get together and go up sometime, but I'm not sure if we'll be able to talk them into that quite yet. Canandaigua Motorsports Park banquet coming up this weekend. It's going to be in Seneca Falls. That'll be this weekend. Also coming up for, make sure we got that. There we go. Get down to that. Also coming up, Canandaigua Motorsports Park at the track in Ontario County, March 5th and 6th. Snowcross is going to be there. That coincides with the Guerrero Racing Party, which is going to be the Elks Lodge here in Seneca Falls. Speed World is on deck. After that, the 20th and 21st of March, the Gator Trade Show at the New York State Fairgrounds is sandwiched in between all that. Coming up middle of March, I believe it was the 12th and the 13th for that event. And then Radio Hill Raceway is going to be in action this Saturday and Sunday, 2-day weekend. The prelude to the 200 is on Saturday. It's giving away a potential A main spot for somebody that is in the feature field drawn at random. And then on Sunday, that is the Battle of the Bosses 200-lap feature event. Hopes to see a lot of the Mud Bosses come out to Radio Hill and join in that racing. The Mud Bosses, it's an RC car that's built on the very affordable Traxxas Slash chassis, two-wheel drive frame, very stock, very low expense, front to back, and they look just like the dirt modifieds that you're used to seeing run up in this area. On the topic of dirt modified, Stu Friesen making some news this week as he announced that he's going to be going to Delaware for the first time since 2009. He's going to be running the Melvin L. Joseph Memorial at Georgetown Speedway on the 12th of March. That's part of the Bob Hilbert Sportswear Short Track Super Series fueled by VP. The event was announced last fall, so that's good to see. He hasn't been there since 2009, and it was in 2010, I believe. It was in 2009 that he pulled down a second-place finish at Delaware International Speedway. Stu Friesen, he's coming off of a great debut with that Hallmark team down in Florida, never finishing outside the top 6, and last year, Stu Friesen putting up 34 wins. That's the most combined between wins in the sprint car and in a modified, so not too bad there. A little bit more driver news that I was happy to see. Thunder Mountain Speedway's got another driver coming back to the fold. Jeremy Smith going to be back in a modified. The last time he was in a car was back in 2008. If you can believe that, we're going to be seeing him back. He's going to be driving a car with owned by Chris Clark and Tim Core. Eddie Maslin's going to be coming back as his crew chief. Jeremy was the 2003 Afton Speedway champion, so excited to see him coming back. And ROC announces that their season is going to open at Selinsgrove this year. It's the Icebreaker 40, scheduled for March the 19th. Rick Lawback won the race back in 2008. We saw Pat Ward winning in 2009 and 2010. Danny Johnson's got some wins over there. Dwayne Howard coming up with a pair of wins in 2012 and 2013. Matt Shepard, to his credit, he has one win, Selinsgrove, coming back in 2010, and that was and he was second to Stu Friesen in the 2013 ROC title chase. So our newly crowned Volusia Speedway Dirt Car Nationals champion, looking to start his season off on the right foot with the ROC. Last year, he took track championships at 2 ROC tracks, Canandaigua Motorsports Park, carrying the ROC sanction along with Utica Rome. Also running, scheduled to appear anyway, multi-time Grandview champion Jeff Strunk's going to be there, defending New Egypt champion Ryan Godown, and one of the biggest rivals for him and former New Egypt Speedway champion, we saw him run down in Florida as well, Billy Pouch. So that's pretty cool. Todd Height weighing in. Thanks for listening, Todd. He's excited about getting out there and trying his luck in those go-karts. Again, those are go-karts with pole position. We're going to be back here again next week. We've hit on a lot of the topics that we wanted to hit on. The biggest thing was telling you guys about what was going on with pole position. So that's awesome. Jump online, polepositionraceway.com. Check them out. See what you can find in terms of something that's going to satisfy your schedule and your racing appetite, because I tell you what, it's not going to be long before racing is here and upon us. We're already looking at dates scheduled for the middle of March here, and that's only 2-3 weeks away. So I think without any further delay, that is going to wrap up this edition. Gave you about 40 minutes to digest. Also want to give a big thank you to our local cable access network. It looks like FLCC's jumped on board with Finger Lakes 1 and now 31st Lap continuing to be aired on our local cable access channel. So thanks to those guys for continuing to make that possible. And again, we'll be back here next week, talk a little bit more racing. We'll see who we can get in terms of a couple of guests. Send me some messages. Let me know who you want to see on the show, and we'll try to set something up. That is going to do it for us here on the 31st Lap. We appreciate everybody hanging out with us here tonight, and we'll see you right here again next week.